Hey everybody, it's Shelly. Thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to talk about some issues that have been kind of coming up in the Facebook group. Um, if you don't know, if you haven't been following me, I have a Facebook group that connects wholesalers, sourcers, pickers with people that resell items on platforms like eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop. There's a bunch of others also. So, some of the misunderstandings are people are saying that they want a certain item, and then that wholesaler or picker goes out and finds a bunch of those items, and then it's not really what they're looking for, and then they just kind of ghost them or say, no, I don't really want any of that, and then this person's invested money in these items and then doesn't know what to do with them, which is just kind of a risk you take. Other things have just been like shipping times, what you're going to do if you get some things that need to be replaced or aren't good for reselling, whether it's flaws or missing items or, and then shipping times. And so I made some notes because I tend to just ramble a little. So I'm just going to, number one, clarify when I'm talking about a wholesaler, I'm talking about the person that's sourcing for another reseller. And when I'm talking about a reseller, I'm talking about the person that lists on these platforms to make money. And the wholesalers make money too, but the resellers are the ones doing the individual listings on the reselling platforms. So as a wholesaler, and I am both a wholesaler and a reseller, currently, I have one wholesale buyer that I'm dealing with, and that's good for now. So I'm not taking any more wholesale buyers at this time. What we do, we go to like liquidation houses, which I have not had the privilege or I've not done that. There's places you can go that sell, shelf pulls, that sell returns, that sell US mail, lost packages. There's all these different places that you can go, and you'll have to do your own research. Most people that have a really good connection there are not willing to give up their information because it took them whatever time and effort to get there, and they're not willing to just give that away. So go out there and find it, do some research. Google is your friend. If you have a friend that's doing it, maybe they'll give up the information. But I think it's kind of considered rude to go on these groups and say, hey, where are you getting all your liquidation stuff? Because most people won't tell you. I do know Via Trading is out of the Los Angeles area. I have personally bought from them in the past, not clothes, just like household things. Years ago when we were doing some storage unit buyouts, and also bulk, BULQ, I think is how you spell it. We bought some box lots from them. Again, it was just household stuff, not clothes, so I don't know how all of that goes. I personally go to the Goodwill bins, which is the Goodwill outlet. I paid by the pound, and I'm spending anywhere from $1 to $1.50 per item when I average out each lot that I buy. And I sell those items for anywhere from $3 to up to $40. It's usually $3 to $10. $5 is my base price. $3 is like for maybe a tank top that's not that great of a brand, but say it has some cool print on it or something. And I know you're only going to get like $15 for it. I'll sell it for $3, but most of my items go for $5. Pricing, I need to stop talking about that because that's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about what I do as a wholesale thrifter for other resellers. I go to the bins outlet and I spend 3 to 4 hours per visit there. At my outlet, you have to get 25 pounds to get a discounted rate of $1.59 a pound. Otherwise, it's like $2.39 a pound, and it does make a difference. That I think it's 70 cents or something. It does make a difference. I would rather get the 25 pounds. So what I do is I go there and I just find a bin that's pretty fresh. Like I know they just rotated it. And I go through that bin piece by piece. I might not look at every single tag. If there's a bunch of kids' clothes, if there's a bunch of, I know it's just a bunch of like Target brands or something, I'll zip through it pretty quickly. But I look at almost every single tag to see the brand. And I'm also looking at style. I'm feeling for fabric content. I can feel silk, I can feel wool, I can feel super soft things. That Santana knit from St. John, I've got that one down pretty good. Sometimes you find that stuff, what you think is that stuff, and it's Shein or it's H&M, and you're just like, okay, whatever, and you throw it aside. But every once in a while, even with those brands, you find some total banger style piece. So that's what I do. It takes, sometimes for one row of like, let's say like 8 bins, it might take me an hour and a half to get through all of those bins. And that's with people all around me, going around me, coming up beside me. Sometimes I have to like skip a bin because there might be 2 or 3 people there sorting or talking or whatever. And I'm not rude. I don't bump people out of the way. I just go around. I know there's plenty for everybody. We're all looking for different things there. But that is a lot of time and effort on my part as a wholesaler to go through all of that stuff. Piece by piece. I go from front to back of the bin. I scoot over, front to back of the bin. I scoot over, front to back of the bin. When I've gone through a bin, there's like piles behind me, but they're all scooted towards the front of the bin because I'll go and reach in and scoot everything forward and start going through it and just tossing it aside as I go. The other thing that I do when I'm going through these bins, if I'm not sure on a brand or a style and I'm like, that looks like a good tag, or it feels like a good brand or whatever, looks like a good style, I put that item in the little seat part of my cart that I have. It's basically a grocery cart. I put it in the little seat part. When I get done with that aisle of bins, I will then go through that and comp those things. And I'll tell you, in those piles of things that I'm not sure about, at least 50 to 75% go right back into the bins because they're not anything. But every once in a while, I've found stuff like new brands, new styles that I'm like, wow, that's going for a lot. I'm glad I set that aside. So I just kind of follow my instincts with that while I'm going through. And then anything for sure that I know, like I find a Johnny Was or something, that gets stuffed right into the big part of the cart. And I know I'm going to get all of those things. And I still miss things, even when I look them over, because I'm not one to then go and sort my cart and find everything that, every little flaw. I do that right on the spot. If I pull up a Johnny Was, I look at it, make sure all the buttons are there, look at the armpits, look at all the seams, check out the tag, look at all the embroidery and make sure it's all there. And then I will throw it in the cart. And even if it's got a stain or, something on it that I need to clean, if it's something expensive like that, I will just take the risk and bring it home and wash it. That's how I do my shopping. And I'm shopping for myself and for the reseller that's going to buy the stuff from me. So I'm finding stuff to list myself also, because I'm doing that business model also. But as a wholesaler, it's a lot of work. It's not like I'm just going to the bins and going, hey, everybody, bring me all the good stuff. I have to go through all of that stuff. I have to take the time. I have to have the knowledge behind my experience, my skills of going in there and finding the silk shirts and finding the wool sweaters and finding, the smart wool and the, knowing that like, oh, this is a smart wool piece when everybody else has passed it up because they don't really know what it is. Maybe they're t-shirt shoppers, or maybe it's just a mom looking for clothes for her kids. But I find that stuff and then I pass it on to my buyer. So it's a lot of effort, and it's very much like you are a personal shopper. You're curating this lot that you're going to offer to your buyer to what they need. Some people want, like, let's say you find somebody that just shop or just lists on Depop. You're going to want to find all the trendy, gothy, band, you can find some of that Shein stuff that's just really cute, the little mushroom sweaters and the little halter tops and the little, skimpy little things, because that's kind of that platform's customers. But if you're like going just for eBay, you're going to find a lot of more mature brands on eBay. So it depends on what your buyer wants, and you really have to listen to that, and you guys have to get together and form this relationship where like, hey, like my buyer right now, she likes Hello Kitty. So when I find Hello Kitty stuff, I grab it. And she doesn't take all the Hello Kitty, but I know that it's a pretty done deal if I find a Hello Kitty piece for her. So now on to the next, what we charge. Not everybody like me gets their things for $1.50 or less a piece. Some people are paying $3 or $4 a piece, depending on where they shop or where they get their liquidation. So they have to take that into account. And that's something that you and your wholesaler have to agree on, because you have to have that expectation up front. If the wholesaler is going to be charging $10 a piece for the items, no matter what they are, then you have to know that, and you have to be okay with saying, you know what, I don't want that Banana Republic, but I'll take that, I don't know, I'll take that Smart Wool. You know what I mean? So you guys have to have this relationship where you don't take it personal. You don't, like, when I had a Hello Kitty piece the other day, and I thought for sure she'd take it, and she's like, no, I'm going to pass on that. I'm not like, you said you liked Hello Kitty. Why aren't you taking this? I just bought this for you and now you're not taking it. No, you can't be like that. You got to be like, okay, no problem. You toss it to the side. It was a piece of kids' clothes, which I kind of knew she might not take. And again, not taking it personal either way. I have an IKEA bag in my photograph inventory room that is just for the buy sell trade. It's Once Upon a Child here locally. So once that IKEA bag fills up with kids clothes, and I'll find like really good stuff like tea and Nartj, I don't remember how you pronounce that. But anyways, I find good brands of kids stuff and I throw it in that bin, and then once every month or two I take that to Once Upon a Child and get some cash, and I use that cash to then like go garage sailing or maybe do my nails or something like that. So it's not a big deal. You can't get emotional about what does and doesn't sell. And that goes the same for if you have someone that you're just starting to work with, and they tell you that they want a bunch of, let's say, women's bras or something. Like, I'm just picking something out of thin air there. And they say they want a bunch of women's bras that are plus size. And then you go to the bins and you find like 50, shelf pulls from Target. And then you offer that to them and they were like, oh, I don't take Target brand. I meant like Victoria's Secret and Cacique and, those kinds of brands. And then you're like, well, so you got to get clear. You got to get real clear on what these people want. If they want bras, what sizes do they want? What brands do they want? Is there certain colors? Do they like, are they more into like, the lingerie type bras or the support type bras? Like, get into the nitty gritty with what your buyers are looking for, and the sellers, the wholesalers, the buyers have to get really clear on what they want. Sorry, I'm getting confused. I'm confusing the heck out of myself. Imagine that. So what you charge, you have to be upfront with that right away. This is what I'm going to charge. That's what I always say. $5 is my baseline. Sometimes I go down to $3, not very often. Like my last haul, I sold 3 things. Out of like 60 things, I sold 3 things for $3 and the rest of them were $5. So that's what we're looking at. So I've got a minimum of 10 to 12 hours per week. I have my baseline. I know what they're looking for. I don't take it personal when they don't want the things that I've bought that I think that they might take. And then shipping. Are you going to include shipping in your price? Like, for instance, Trash Panda, from what I understand, they charge a certain amount for each item, like a baseline, and then for more expensive stuff a little bit more. But those prices include your shipping, so they're not adding shipping to your order. I add shipping to your order. I do a buy call, and then we figure out the total, and then I pack all the stuff. I did a video last time about how I pack the stuff, so you can go back and look at my live videos on YouTube and find that out. And I put labels on everything because I have a relationship where I'm not worried about whether they're going to pay me or not, because we have that trusted relationship. I know they're going to pay me, so I buy those labels and put them on the packages. And then I tell them, you've got $80 worth of shipping for 6 packages today. And then they're like, okay. And then I send them the total and they pay me. And sometimes they pay me the next day. Sometimes they pay me right away. It just depends on their schedule. I don't get too worked up about it. If they don't pay me by the next day, I will send them a little reminder, but I'm not rude about it. I'm just like, hey, I'm just letting you know I already took that stuff to the post office. Just making sure that you remember to pay me. And they're like, oh no, I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. And within minutes, I usually get the pay. So that's the relationship I have with my reseller buyers. It's not a big deal. So that's the shipping part. And you have to agree whether you're going to include shipping with your prices or you're going to add shipping on. That's up to you. That's between you and your buyer. Then agreements and relationships. Excuse me. I've already talked about relationships. You just have to can't take it personal. There has to be trust there. As far as agreements, some people do write up contracts. And if you are a super organized kind of type A personality, you might want to have those contracts that you can put out there as a wholesaler. You have your buyer, who's the reseller, sign a contract with whatever stipulations you have. I have not ever done that because I've just been really transparent from the very beginning and it's just worked out for me. Never had any major issues. You have to figure out in that. The other thing that I want to talk about with these agreements and contracts or whatever, however you want to do it, there has to be an agreement, whether it's verbal or written, on how you're going to handle defects. Because even I go to the bins, a lot of that stuff is at the bins because it's ripped or torn or stained or missing buttons or there's some flaw. I don't always see those flaws. I try my darndest to find all the flaws. I still miss them. I miss them on my own items. I'll hang something up in front of the lights and I'll be like, oh my God, there's like this huge blob right in the middle, this huge stain that I didn't even see. And I've looked at this item like 3 times already. And it just happens. So if something like that happens, you have to have an agreement of how you're going to handle that. Are they just going to take it and pay for it, and that's just the risk they take? If that's the case, you need to let them know right up front. This is the case. I do not take returns. I do not give credit for flaws. I do my darndest to find all the flaws. If it has a flaw, I'm definitely going to let you know, but don't ask me for credit. I personally give credit. If they're going to toss that item because it's so ruined, I give them their full $5 or whatever it was back. If they're going to list it with the flaws or they had to clean it or repair it, I'll take half off. And I usually just give them credit for the next lot that I give that or sell them. So say, it was a $300 order last time, but say 20 of that was flaws. So the next time, if it was like $325, I give them that $20 off, so it's $305. So that's how I kind of handle it. And if I know that they're not going to buy from me for a while, I'll just PayPal them the money. So that's how I handle it, and I'm very upfront with that, and we have that agreement. So there's so much on these agreements and relationships between the buyer and the wholesaler / picker. Referrals. So referrals might be good if you know someone that's already buying from someone, or you know someone that's already selling to someone and you know they have a great relationship. That might be a good way to get your foot in the door with other buyers and sellers, just because they're already a trusted person. So you know it's going to work out. With that, I just want to say, if there's ever any issues in my Facebook group, I want to address them. If there's people in there just signing up to pretend they're going to send a bunch of stuff and get the money and disappear, I need to know that so I can get them out of the group and permanently like block them. I haven't had to do that yet. I have got people out of the group that I see that they're spamming because they're just like offering like their MLM or something. And I'm like, no, that is not the place for this. So go away. I don't even talk to them. I just get rid of them. So that's just kind of my protection in the group, is I don't want a bunch of spammy crap in there. And then just all the expectations, what I've already talked about. And then what resellers want. You resellers that are buying from these wholesalers, you have to figure out what your business model is and be super specific. And don't feel obligated to take any of the stuff that they're, if you hook up with, I shouldn't say hook up. That's not a good term. If you meet up, whether it's a buy call or a bunch of pictures or a spreadsheet, and then you look at all the stuff and you comp it and you're like, there's no way I'm going to make the kind of money I want from this wholesale lot. Just say no. Do not feel obligated and then resentful. Just say no. And that's another thing I want to talk about as far as how us wholesalers sell to you resellers. It's different for everyone. Obviously, I don't have a big issue being on camera, so I have no problem doing video calls. To me, it's just so easy just to, grabbing a piece, just to pick up. This is a TNA sweatshirt. Just to pick this up and go, hey, here's a TNA sweatshirt. Are you interested in this? I'm pretty sure it's a vanity size because it's a size 2. It's yellow. It does have some faint spots on the front. Is that something you'd be interested in? And if they're like, no, I don't really want that with the spots. Okay, no problem. Or yes, and then I roll it up and put it in the bag. So, and then there's other people that just want to do spreadsheets or a bunch of pictures, or there's people in my group, and the group is linked in the description, that are willing to do all kinds of different ways of showing you what they have. And then there's just mystery boxes. And I know most mystery boxes are a you-know-what show, SH show. I don't want to say bad words on here, but a crap shoot. I'll say crap. But there might be some people out there that have they're just putting together some really good mystery lots. So if there are people that you know of that are doing that, spread the word. You can go on the group and say, hey, so-and-so has amazing mystery lots, or so-and-so's never sent me a flawed item. Like, if they're looking for more people to add to their list, then by all means, talk good stuff about other people in the group. I'm not into drama, so when there is drama, I try to squelch it pretty quickly, and I do not take sides. I do not get in the middle. I just am like a mediator if there's an issue. So if there is an issue, let me know, but I'm not going to get super involved in anything. You are buying and selling at your own risk, and you have to make sure that you're doing it safely and responsibly and with the right expectations. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about that. I know pricing has been an issue for the wholesalers because they're like, we're doing a service and it just feels like we're not getting paid. I feel like my $5 each, I'm still making like at least $3.50 on each item, but that item, I feel like I need to bring my prices up a little, but I'm just not ready to do that. I'm just kind of playing with some different ideas, but I'm not ready to do that. But most people charge more than that, and it's totally warranted to charge what you want. If you're charging too much, you'll soon find out that the market is not going to allow that, and you'll have to bring your prices down or just decide to do it differently or something. But anyways, so that's my video on expectations of what resellers and wholesalers are looking for. I hope you find some good value in this content. If you do, please follow my YouTube channel and like this this video. Also, on my YouTube channel, if you want to see most of my videos, you have to go to the live videos because most of my videos are live. So you'll go to my YouTube channel and see like 5 videos pop up. There are a bunch more if you go to the little live tab. There's like videos, live, playlists, all that. Go to the live tab and you'll see all my videos. I've got videos in there about wholesaling. I've got videos in there about getting daily sales on Poshmark. I've got haul videos. I've got all kinds of fun videos. So the packing videos in there. So anyways, have a great day and I will chat with you next time. Bye.